What's going on, guys? So today on this Shoky review, we're going to take a look at the Blue Destiny Unit 2. And this is, of course, an RX-79, so right past the Grandpa, because this thing is actually a ground-type variant. Now, we have looked at the Blue Destiny 1 before, which should pop up right up here in the card. So, yay for that. You got Hguc up here, mobile suit side store, the Blue Destiny. You got a lovely image of it here in its flaming pink mode, which I assume is the exam mode. And of course, actually, you have the Unit 3 chilling out over here and putting off green fumes. Whatever. And for some reason, it says EFSF first produced mobile suit. Now, I know this thing was captured by Xeon, but is it literally saying that it was first produced by the Federation? Either way, that's pretty funny. I like the box art so far. It looks pretty good. You got Bandai 2017, so sadly we didn't get this thing out in 2017. So it is what it is. And if we come to the bottom, you've got RX-79BD2, Blue Destiny Unit 2, exam. You got obligatory front and rear shot there. And that's more or less its final form, I guess. You've got actions right there. You got a wide range of motion. Various gimmicks allow the reproduction of powerful actions. Reproduce the blue shoulders before being intercepted by replacing the parts. Beam sabers are stored in the legs. Spoilers. And left open hand parts are included. Yay! And you've also got the head markings and all the weapons, so you can swap things out. You can make it whichever way you want to do. I kind of like when they give us custom options. And come to this side, you got Hguc, number 208. Yay! BandaiHobby.net. And you got all the title right there. It actually doesn't even fit all the way across there because really long name. And if you come to the last side, you've got the story right there. So yay for that. And you got more stuff about the story. And you've got do not stick a Blue Destiny 2 in your 3-year-old's face because it will hurt. And you've got obligatory warning, poly bags. You've got 1600 yen, so very affordable kit. And illustration is by Morishita Naochika. So it is awesome. But we'll go ahead and get into it. There is no build montage for this, sadly, but it is what it is. Alright guys, so here we have the Blue Destiny out here, all nice and done, and well, messing up my white balance, because that's what blue kids do. Now the cool thing is, I like that while they could have made all these things the same color, all of the Blue Destinies so far have been different. Just for a quick comparison, so, well, first and foremost, this is him in his normal EFF mode, so is what it is, because of course once he goes into Xeon, it changes up a little bit. So here he is, just a quick comparison to the Unit 1, which is, like I said, very different blue. And I like how while they are essentially the same kit, the chest, almost everything is exactly the same. They change it up just enough. So you got the white accents here, you got the black accents there, even a darker gray for the chest pieces and the frame. Knee frame here in the elbows, which is white, the ammo cartridges, which are also white, the knee armors, which are white, the Gundam head on this one versus the gym style head on that one, so makes a big difference. So pretty neat. I like that. But you know, they keep the EFF logos and all that the same, so that works out really, really nice. So yay, Unit 1, Unit 2. So it does have all the same kind of articulation, all the same things as the previous. So realistically, we're just going to kind of go over details and gimmicks and such. And I don't know what is going on with my lighting lately. But if we look into the head, you can see... Oh, God, I can't get any light in there. The eyes, I went with the regular mode eyes and camera. So green camera, green eyes, green rear camera. I'm going to raise the camera up just a little bit. Maybe that'll make my life a little easier so I'm not working down to the ground. So you got green camera there. I don't know if I'll get the eyes or not, but they're in there somewhere. Cannot wait to upgrade my lighting. So, and like I said, being based off of the ground type gym really does afford this thing some nice moving power and all that stuff like that. You've got the chest Vulcans, you got the chest rockets, all that stuff is all the same. I like the bright orange color for here and the little crest in the chin. That looks pretty cool. And like I said already, the white parts are nice. Now, I did use the stickers for all of these little triangles. I really didn't feel like painting much on this guy. I just didn't. It's like it came to it, and I'm like, I don't want to do it. Even the ankle covers down here are actually the stickers, because painting white over blue is a chore, guys. And speaking of that, actually, I did do blue panel lining on all of the blue parts, and pretty much that's it, because you only see blue pretty much on every part of this guy. Now you do get this actually is the logo that goes on the shield, but because the shield can't really be swapped back and forth, I just found a place to put that. I like the little square thrusters back here. It looks pretty cool. Now you do have a couple options with this guy, and I don't have them cut out, but very similarly to the way this one does in exam mode, you can do the same thing with this. So you can actually use, it comes with all the same stuff. So you have these expanding little kind of thruster vents that can pop up right here. You can totally do the same thing on this guy if you want. And of course, if you want to take them into exam mode, you can just yoink out the shoulder sliders there, and you can reposition the leg thrusters the same way. So you just tick those down just a little bit, which I've never quite understood why that makes them faster, but you know, it is what it is. Speaking of the thrusters, did give it some of my nice new favorite gold paint. It looks very, very good. And if you want to swap out the eyes, you can do that. You do get the clear red eyepiece. I just let that cut out, and you can put the stickers or paint it, whatever you want to do. It's your kit. Do what you want. Now, he does have the regular hands, and he does have the left expressive open hand, which for the most part I'm probably going to leave on this guy just because it looks good, and he can do a nice hi teacher. Hey, I'm Blue Destiny too. Yay. Very nice. He does have all the weapons you would expect, including his shield. So they give you the base frame and everything like this for the standard shield, and they don't give you the front, and that kind of sucks. I really wish they did, because that's like the only runner that's missing, because it'd be fun to have this guy with a small regular ground type shield and then get an upgrade to the full-size version later. You do also get the standard machine gun. It comes all in blue with just the white part there. Eventually I'm going to paint this gray, I think, or I might leave it all blue just for the fun of it, because it does look good. I like the white ammo clips. That totally makes a different thing. Or magazines, however you want to say it. You do get the flip out buttstock that doesn't really do much when you bend the elbows, but, you know, totally there. Yay! Has a flip out handle, like you do. No camera on that guy, because it is what it is. I feel like he only used that in his EFF mode, because it's definitely more of an EFF weapon. ESFF. EFSF. I will get that right one day. And of course, he does come with beam sabers, because you do. He does have two blades, two beam sabers. The other handle is still tucked away in the leg pod, because generally that's a pain in my butt to get those out. Can hold them. Does look very nice while doing so. So, yeah. Fishing rod. Fishing rod of doom. So, beam sabers are good. And, of course, he does come with his upgraded beam rifle. This is pretty cool. I feel like this is somewhere... I don't know that it's a Xeon thing, because I think Xeon didn't even get beam rifle. But it's a side story, so maybe it is what it is. Handle flip-floppies. You got the camera sticker in there. He does hold it just fine. This is the one that he will be displayed with for sure. Gotta dig that. Alright, come on, get out of there. Alright. And just to show off his big shield before we totally intercept him. You do get the big shield. I dig it. I like the much larger shield versus the ground type shield. Looks good, and for once you don't have to paint these parts. All of this is fine. You can see I've got the Xeon logo on there. It's panel lined in blue. You have the arm tab inside here, along with a fake handle. I feel like they could have done a little bit better there. And it does just peg into the forearm, as you do. It looks nice and hefty. Now it's time for upgrades. So because dude stole it and wanted to actually make it more his own, he did take the blue shoulders and he painted them orange. And I like that we get the options here because it's really neat. Now, if you're wondering how I managed this, because there's only one set of polycaps in this, and you should have to pick a single set of shoulders. Well, there's a reason I hold on to all the extra stuff from old kits. Because digging through it, I eventually found extra polycaps to make the blue shoulders happen. So I had the red shoulders set up to go. So I made the blue shoulders happen with spare polycaps, which was not easy because they weren't exactly the same. Actually, you can see right there, that's actually one of the spare polycaps for some reason. And yeah, always hold on to your spare polycaps, kids. And I saw that somebody made this guy the other day with a custom decal set that actually gave him all the same kind of decals but added warnings and stuff like that. But it looks really good in this mode. I like the orange shoulders. I like the contrast. It looks very nice. So he's going to stay with those. But I wish they did actually keep the Unit 2, stuff like that. But, you know, Principality of Xeon or something instead. That would be neat. Now, I don't think, I'll have to look at the images, these little handles might need to be painted. I don't know. Might leave it alone. Depends. Now, the backpack does get an upgrade as well. So you get this awesome dealie right here. Very similar to the Mark II backpack. Much more for space usage. So you got big thrusters down here. You've got a bunch of smaller maneuvering thrusters, all with the nice favoritist gold. It's good. And this came out smoother than I thought because I was having issues with the marker getting inside there, and it actually came out pretty decent. Now, these vents up here, they move a little bit. I don't know if they're supposed to move. But those are actually stickers covering that, as you can tell. I chose to use those because, once again, painting white over blue, pain in the butt. And they're not terrible. They're not the most hateful stickers, so I'm okay with using them. And the cool thing is, you don't have to really swap anything out. You can just peg this on the back. And there you go. It looks very nice. If only I could get some light in and around his face, that would be wonderful. So there he is. Let's give him back his beam gun, beam cannon. Give him back his beam rifle. So it looks really good, like so. Wish he would stand. There we go. Get those ankles to work. And if you do feel inclined, he does have the ankle pistons kind of hidden away. Why are the ankle? For some reason, it did it twice now, but the ankle armor that pivots is weird. But he's got little pistons down there if you do feel like painting those up. You can totally do that. Now, back for comparison, since his gun's pointing that way, we don't want to go all weird on it. Bring in Unit 1 again, so we can start building up their forces. Looks really cool. And we'll bring out the Ifrit, because that's kind of the whole point. And yeah, very, very similar color scheme happening here. That can't be a coincidence. I'm sure whoever in the comments is going to tell me exactly why it is the way it is. Still really like this Ifrit. I need to build the other one. It's just sitting there. Plus I need to get the other two that are now coming out. P-Bandai. And then, whoa, hello. And then we bring in the original, the gym ground type that kind of kicked off all this. And yes, we do have the Gundam ground type coming out in a couple months, if it's not out already. Hold on, let me think. Oh, that's out in Japan already. It hasn't come out here just yet. So we'll be picking that up. So I'll kind of have all the RX-79s for the most part, with the exception of the Easy 8, which I hope we get a redo of. Mind you, the previous one isn't old. I think it was like 2013, something like that. But it's not based off of this guy, which is a very, very good kit. final thoughts. I really dig it. I like the new play on it. I like the color swaps, all the stuff like that. Of course, the articulation is still as good as any. The stickers, they are what they are. You can definitely paint them if you want. There's nothing wrong with it. Just trying to paint yellow in such a tiny spot would have been a huge pain in the butt. Painting these things white also would have been a pain in the butt, so didn't do that. Oh, and by the way, just as usual, I did split the front skirts, which actually is super easy on these because they're barely put together as it is. You can snap them off the runner perfectly fine. But I definitely would suggest this kit along, because you got to have the full Blue Destiny, setup, right? You guys want to thank my patrons, as always, John, Andy, Steve, Kolby, and now TheKrowSama. So you guys are great for supporting the channel. As always, if you want to join in and be a patroneer, go ahead right here on the screen. If you want to support the channel in other ways, you can totally buy any of the Shoky shirts on the screen. And they're actually they're very comfy. I like them. And as, of course, through the end of May, every one of those shirts actually does go towards the Lupus for Lupus charity, which will be right up here in the card as usual. And the submissions have already begun for that, so make sure you get them all in before May 20th, guys. But that's it for this Blue Destiny review. But remember, as always, guys, keep on building.